the message that we've brought to you in the last 50 minutes here is really doing your due diligence and really building trustworthy reporting. But as I mentioned, the momentum you're working towards, having the good visibility on what you have today, what you need in the future, etc., that is a point in time analysis. And from that point in time analysis, that is the knowledge you will take up with yourself in the negotiations. But a lot of things are happening internally at Microsoft, depending on what you're asking, who you're talking to, what period of the year we're in, etc. And you will be given several offers throughout the negotiation cycle with Microsoft, but it's important to really keep up to date with what you've been presenting. So create your analysis, your point in time, but also remain disposable towards the colleagues who are taking this up, the procurement colleagues who are taking this up, remain remain available for them to update your analysis on a continuous basis, to steer them towards new elements, to give them again updates on how does this relate to what I need, what I use, cost analysis, etc. It's crucial input that your procurement colleagues needs in order to be the most efficient in negotiations. Because if you don't give them the correct insights, to be honest, they're steering blind, and you want them to, as Floris mentioned in the beginning, you want them to be in control of the negotiation cycle. And how are they in control? Well, to have they are in control if they have the necessary knowledge and input from the software asset management department.
Yeah, and why is that important? That the importance here is that we need to understand the Microsoft practice, because you will want to dictate the discussion with Microsoft, and having a good data, good basis of data requirements that you need will help you there. Microsoft will give you that overambitious proposal that I talked to you about in the beginning, and will create the scenarios that they think you will need based on the discussions that they will have had with your C-level, with partners that you might have in your organization, etc., etc. So what happens then is that we often, too often, see that customers of Microsoft are following the Microsoft show. They listen to the Microsoft is dictating to them, and they will say, "Oh, but I don't think I need that. Oh, I don't think I need that." But how much more powerful would it be if you were able to say, "Well, this is what I know I need, and this is what we have done to investigate that I know that we need this." And if you can have your procurement person be that confident in their selling towards Microsoft, because that's what you're going to be doing. You're going to be selling your organization to Microsoft, that you know what you are doing and how you are doing it. And if you really know what you have and how you use it and what you might need towards the future, you can push back on everything that Microsoft is going to throw your way by just going back to the facts that you have identified by yourself or by having lead out help you. And Microsoft will then start to look for ways to try and push their agenda, but it won't work because you know what you need, you know what you have, and you know where you want to be in 3 years' time. It might lead to lower initial discounts because Microsoft is not very used to hearing this type of messaging, but in the end, when push comes to shove, this will lead to what you want, and that is a contract that consists of what you have in place currently and might need towards the future at the best commercial conditions. Using a data-driven approach will serve as your fallback scenario. It is your fallback. Always fall back on what do we know? Does it align? Is Microsoft telling us something that is not in line with what we have identified ourselves? And how to do this? Again, gather your requirements early. Start in advance of when Microsoft starts. Microsoft has a playbook, they call it T-36, which means that 36 months your contract starts and a timer runs out back to 1. At T-12, so that means 1 year in advance, they will already start planning internally. You should do the same, or if not earlier, and identify and know what you need. If you do not, you might get caught again in Microsoft approach. Always have your escalations ready. So if you're negotiating with Microsoft, be sure that you're doing this from a point of power. You are the one that they should negotiate with. It's no need to go to the CIO or the CFO or even the CEO. They will tell you what you will hear from me. I am the one that you should negotiate with. The other way around, always know where you need to escalate within Microsoft, because Microsoft management is often very keen on getting involved. And that way you can leverage that play as well. Finally, this should be a role within your organization. And not just talking about a procurement officer, but I'm talking about a gatekeeper, the one that says, are we still doing the right thing? Is this fitting our agenda? If not, go back to your fallback. Are we doing it the correct way? If not, what do we need? Are we in need of more data? How do we gather this? What can we do? Etc. etc.